Voice of Indonesia.
Voice of Indonesia from Indonesia to the world. VOI listeners and viewers, Ramadan is in the eye. And usually in Indonesia, there is a special tradition all over the provinces in Indonesia to welcome the fasting month of Ramadan. What about in West Java? We have a Sundanese or native West Java tradition to welcome Ramadan called cucurak. What is it all about? Let's get the details with the owner of Bekal Bunda Catering joining us on VOI Talk. Please welcome Talitha. Hello, Talitha. Welcome to VOI Talk.
Hello. Let me introduce myself. My name is Talitha, and I am the successor of Bekal Bunda, my mother's company.
Wow, what a great profession and also background. So suitable with today's topic, which is a tradition to welcome Ramadan in West Java called cucurak. So could you please tell to our listeners and viewers what tradition is it?
All right. Cucurak is a tradition usually done in Sundanese culture where friends and family or acquaintances meet up and eat together as a form of equality and bonding. The origin of cucurak is actually really deeply rooted in Sundanese agricultural culture originating from Bogor, West Java, and the surrounding areas. The tradition dates back centuries and was initially practiced by farmers.
Okay, so is it mostly in Bogor or the whole West Java usually?
It is usually done in Bogor and its surrounding areas like Jabodetabek. It is a Sundanese culture and not a Javanese culture.
Okay, and the word cucurak itself derives from Sundanese language. What does it mean?
Cucurak is a Sundanese word which means bersenang-senang or enjoying enjoying a happy time. It is a Sundanese word cucurak is a Sundanese word that means bersenang-senang, which is in English enjoying a happy time.
Okay, happy time, have a fun time, but by doing what usually? Because every region in Indonesia usually has a different tradition to welcome Ramadan. And what about cucurak tradition itself? What people do in this tradition?
Cucurak itself is it is similar to Thanksgiving. It is a Thanksgiving before Ramadan where people who know each other meet up and eat together. They usually bring their own foods, and it's like sharing and giving, actually. Really similar to Thanksgiving in Western culture. It is to symbolize gratitude, blessings. It emphasizes in silaturahmi, which is strengthening social ties between family members, relatives, friends, and neighbors. They usually eat together using what we call daun pisang or banana leaf, where they eat together with one long daun pisang, one long banana leaf, and the food is put on the banana leaf, where they will eat together using their hands and just talk to each other and talk about what has been happening with them, their situation, and in most cases actually religious discussions about Ramadan.
Wow, sounds so fun. And the unique thing is eating on the banana leaves, the long one. Now, our listeners and viewers must be so curious what food usually eaten by Sundanese people in this tradition.
Yes. So I actually brought
Wow.
an example for the food in cucurak. Of course, usually in cucurak, we don't use plates or even utensils. We use the banana leaves and our hands to eat. So this is the example of the food I have brought. The rice we usually eat is called nasi liwet, which is a rice dish cooked in coconut milk and spices. The components are rice, anchovies, scallions, onions, and lemon zest. And then here we have tempe orek, which is a tempeh dish that is made with tempeh and sweet soy sauce. Usually, if you like spices, you can add chilies, but it's not a must. Here we have grilled chicken atau ayam bakar. Grilled chicken is usually just chicken with a coat of sweet soy sauce. And of course, if you want it to be spicy, you can add chilies to it. And in Bogor culture specifically, we can switch it out with fish. And over here, we have urap. Urap is a vegetable salad with seasoned grated coconuts. Of course, we use wortel or carrots, long beans atau kacang panjang, and shredded and seasoned coconut shreddings. Of course, here we have sambal, which is just a dipping sauce, usually made out of a lot of chilies.
Oh, okay.
My
Yes.
own personal favorite is actually called cumi asin oseng cabe. It is a stir-fried salted squid with chilies, of course made out of salted squid, chili, and tomato. Sometimes people will add other vegetables to it, but it is just simply a stir-fried squid dish.
Okay. Thank you so much for the explanation. Thank God it's not Ramadan yet.
Yeah.
Because it's so mouth watering and so tempting. A very right time to show the delicious food ahead of Ramadan. Okay. And I myself just done the tradition of cucurak last week anyway in Bogor with my family. Yes, just like what you explained, we ate together with banana leaves with fried chicken with the shredded coconut on top, and then the tempe tahu, soybean based. And then what else? Oh, I have this legendary stinky bean, which is jengkol.
Jengkol, oh yeah, usually. It is really common for cucurak actually, jengkol, but most children don't really like them. So,
The adults.
yeah.
And then what else? And of course, we cannot miss sambal every time we eat. And the lalapan or raw vegetables. And I ate it in a restaurant with a very natural atmosphere amid paddy fields. Very nice, very nice cucurak at that time. What about you? Have you done it?
Yes, actually, I've done cucurak a couple of times with different people, different groups of people. My first time was actually with my friends in class because we had open class. Actually, my teacher didn't come, so we had a cucurak style eating together. My friend brought a couple of sweets, desserts, while I brought most of the main dish, and then we ate together. And then there's my brother's chucharak party with his friends, and I of course like tagged along because it was placed in my house, so I ate a couple of times, and I have made plans with other people for chucharak, but considering tomorrow is Ramadan, we probably won't have enough time for it.
Okay. So, how do you see people in West Java preserve this tradition?
People in West Java preserve this tradition through generations. It is kind of an uncommon thing nowadays because it is an old tradition. So modern people usually do it differently than what we were used to in the past. Now chuchurak can be called just eating with friends. So you can go to a restaurant and then you eat together, and people can call that chuchurak, but traditionally, if we want to preserve it, we can do it with friends and family. So at a friend's house, we can do it. We can teach our children what is chuchurak, and they can continue that tradition through their own family and friends. And at schools, they still teach what chuchurak is. Actually, at my school personally, they'll tell us the history and why it is really important to Sundanese culture. And I think that's a great way to preserve that culture by from family and friends and teachers. That is a great way to preserve them.
Yes, indeed. Passing it from one generation to another, that's the key, right?
Yes.
So in your opinion, what are the unique features of Cucurak tradition compared to the other traditions in Indonesia to welcome Ramadan?
The most common, like the uniqueness, is because it is done before Ramadan. It is done to, of course, like feast before the fasting month, and that alone I think is really unique. And then the next one is we do like a speech, maybe we call it, so religiously, we religious speaking about God, about our prophet. It is a time that is good to talk about the good of Ramadan, the good of eating together, the good of meeting family and friends. It is also the after Cucurak, usually people go to their ancestors' graves, which is called ziarah kubur, where they of course grieve and appreciate the life that they still have now, and appreciate the lives of their past loved ones, aka their ancestors.
Okay. So, final statement, please, to our listeners and viewers regarding Cucurak, the Sundanese tradition to welcome Ramadan, and also about Ramadan itself.
I'd say Cucurak, while it is a Sundanese tradition, I would like people to enjoy that tradition. And yes, tomorrow is Ramadan, but maybe you can try it out with your friends and families today. You know, just getting to talk to each other again, that is already really great. Ramadan is a fasting month, really filled with prayer and happiness, really. Well, yes, it is fasting, but that is the joy of Ramadan. And maybe even if you're not used to that, you can try it out. You can join, and you can join us with in Ramadan and in Cucurak, maybe even if you want. You can try it out. You can maybe follow, and if you find that you like it, that's good. You can try it again next year, or you can try it like in you in the next moments of your life. Cucurak itself is a really important tradition, and Ramadan is a really important occasion in Islamic faith. And if you want to join us in those special occasions, you are really free to welcome. You are free to welcome. You are free to join us.
Yes, hopefully VOI listeners and viewers next time can feel by themselves the tradition of Cucurak to welcome next Ramadan. But now maybe they can try the Sundanese food this Ramadan if they happen to be in Indonesia, in West Java, and feel how magical and how wonderful the Sundanese food. So Talitha, the owner of Bekal Bunda Catering, thank you so much for sharing your insight about the Sundanese tradition to welcome Ramadan. Hopefully all of us can have a blessed Ramadan this year.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to you too.
Well, listeners and viewers, that's today's VOI talk talking about Cucurak, Sundanese tradition to welcome Ramadan. Hopefully you can see for yourself the uniqueness of this tradition later next Ramadan, because now we are completely welcoming Ramadan. Stay tuned for more insightful interviews on VOI Talk, only on Voice of Indonesia. From Indonesia to the world.
Voice of Indonesia.